What's up, guys? So today's video is going to be about thumb studs that you can add to your knives that don't have them. This is a Kwik brand thumb stud. Although this is by far the most popular one, I have seen knockoffs before on like random international sites, but I don't even remember where I saw them, and trying to find it before this video to tell you about it, I couldn't. So maybe they're out there, maybe they're not, I don't know. But Kwik is available everywhere. Kwik, and it's literally exactly how it looks. It is a thumb stud that's removable that you can attach to knives that you want a thumb stud on. Now this is an awesome setup. This whole thing was a gift from a while back. I showed it on camera, but I never gave you more information about it. Started carrying this a little bit more lately just because it's awesome and wanted to do a video specifically about the thumb stud. This is a Buck 112 in 5160. Which is Bose heat treated. Very cool addition of this knife with a nice sheath and everything. But this is the perfect combo. This one happens to be brass, although they do sell these in stainless, and I also saw they have a black one. All right, so you know, between brass, stainless, and black, you could put on pretty much anything and make it look nice. And what it does for you, obviously, is it gives you the option of having a one-handed opening knife that normally would not be easy to open one-handed. So this is a classic Buck model. Two things that a lot of people don't like about this knife. Number one, it doesn't have a thumb stud that you can't or can easily open it one-handed. And number two, there's no pocket clip. Now, although this doesn't solve your pocket clip problem, it does make this one-hand operable. All right, now you might be asking about closing. There's a couple different methods for one-hand closing on these knives or any lockback. If you're careful and you put the spine of the blade in your palm like this, you can push down on the lock bar while also adding pressure down here to break that axis so you can rotate it back around and close it, you know, one-handed, as well as opening it one-handed. So if you really need to, you could do that. For me, I can't do it on camera because you can't see my leg right now, but I would normally just disengage the lock, and let's say this is my leg, I just push it against my leg, just enough to break, again, that axis, take it off, you know, the pressure of the lock bar, and then probably against my leg, close it that way. That's probably the most common thing I would do. It's not the safest, but hey, it's never failed me. Just kind of go like that and close it, you know, against the pant leg. But anyway, this does make, you know, for a really nice addition to all those, especially, you know, classic designs that maybe you want to carry, but you don't because you don't want to use two hands to open your knife. This can go on pretty much anything. Now this one specifically, you can see the specs on the front. It goes up to 1/8 inch blades for the thickness. So something thicker than that, it will not work. You can see on top there's knurling. Let me zoom in, give you a better detail. There's knurling on the top plate here. Okay, so that's what gives you that extra grip. Not only is it protruding above the blade, but it gives you a little bit more grip. On the back end, you can see a hole. That is where your adjustment screw is. And you can see it does come with the proper tool, which in this case is a 1/16 hex key. So you put your key in there, loosen it up, and then it just slides right off. So it's pretty easy to get on and off. Now, something to keep in mind too is you might think of like, let's say a Swiss Army knife, a Victorinox model. Those blades are very, very thin. So if that doesn't create enough pressure to lock on there, you can always use some kind of spacing material, almost like a shim, to take up the extra room so you can really crank it down and make sure it's on there hard. Obviously, you want to install it firmly so that when you're pushing on it, it's not just gonna pop off, you know. But it is not a permanent fixture, so if you change your mind, you can take it off. It doesn't damage the blade at all right? So it's just a really cool addition. It gives you the option to actually have an older design with a modern feature like a thumb stud, so you can open it one-handed. In this particular case, it looks really nice on the knife, I think. It doesn't really stand out. I know a lot of people out there who use these. The only time I actually saw one in person was an older gentleman. He must have been in his, like, maybe early 60s or late 50s. He was a viewer. He was somewhat local. I saw him at a Walmart, came up, said, hey, you know, I watch your videos and everything. We had a nice little discussion. So I said, well, hey, watch the videos. You gotta like knives, right? Because the first thing I do is when people, you know, say hi to me, I say, well, what do you watch the videos for? Because I have so many different subjects. Some people say, oh, you know, the knives are cool and everything, but I just like your Zippo videos, or I just like the stories, or whatever. This particular person happened to really like knives, but because he was a little bit older, he happened to grow up with just a ton of traditional patterns. He was a huge fan of W.R. Case & Sons, and the knife he had on him that day was a Case Sodbuster with a Kwik stud on it, which I thought was really, really cool. So that's the only time I actually saw one in use besides me using them. I did have one way back in the day. This has been around for many, many years. I don't know exactly how old I was. I want to say maybe 15, 16 or something. And I got one of these, also a brass one, but I didn't put it on a buck model. I forget what I put it on. I honestly don't remember, but I remember having it on a knife for a little while and thinking it was like the coolest thing in the world. So yeah, if you did not know this existed, now you do. If you ever had a knife, and by the way, it doesn't have to be a traditional knife. It could be something like this. Yet another appearance of the Civivi backlash. This has been on camera a lot lately. But, you know, this is a flipper design, and there's nothing to easily open this other than using a flipper. You can grab the blade here, but not only is it quite smooth, but because of the swedge that's on top here, it's angled, makes it even harder to pinch and open that, really. So you can use something like this. Obviously, you use a stainless one so it matches, and you could put that on here. In case you didn't want to use the flipper, you want to use a thumb stud. So it's not just like for older, you know, knife design or traditional patterns. You could put it on anything. Literally anything you want a thumb stud, there it is. Attachable thumb studs, which is really cool. I like it. I wish that Kwik Thumstud worked with Emerson and used their wave patent to come up with some kind of mechanism you can attach to a blade to make anything waveable. That would be really cool. So many people love the zip tie mod, very simple, but if you don't have a hole in the blade, you can't do that mod. I've seen people where they actually just will cut in, you know, a wave type feature, but that's a little ghetto and it's a permanent, you know, modification to the knife. I would love to see that. So hey, Kwik Thumstuds, who makes this? I don't know what the mother company is. Midwest Knife Makers Supply. Yeah, if you ever stumble across this video, make that. Work with Emerson. Make sure you do it right. Get their patent or get their okay, whatever happens there. So it's not just stealing a design. Get their permission. Plenty of companies have, and make something like that. That would be awesome. An attachable, waveable piece. Anyway, I am just here to tell you this is a thing. In case you didn't know, maybe you're new to the knife scene, never seen this before, or maybe you've been collecting knives for 30 years and never saw this before. Either way, now you know it's a thing if you're watching the video right now listening to me. And I think it's a cool thing. It's a really cool option. Back in the day, before all these different inventions came along, like the pocket clip, like one-hand opening capability, speed assist, all these different things, it was a little inconvenient, but it wasn't a big deal. I think the whole idea of a knife, floating around your pocket wasn't that big of a deal back in the day because that's what they had in their pocket. They had a knife and car keys. All right, it's not like you need a dedicated pocket for your cell phone because they didn't exist. So keep that in mind. With all the crap that we carry today, how much of it is actually necessary and what we really need. If you're driving around, you need your car keys, you need your wallet, obviously, but everything else is kind of just a convenience. So that's it. Just giving you one more close-up on this. Again, knurled ridges on the top there for grip. It just clamps on there, and there's a set screw on the back that tightens down so it won't budge. But yeah, and I love this combo. It's just really, really nice. But again, different colors there, different color options so that it makes sense. You wouldn't put a brass thing on a all stainless knife or something, or let's say your knife's all blacked out, you want a black thumb stud. They have it, which is pretty cool because I didn't notice that until recently. I only thought they only had the brass and the stainless, but now they have a black one too, which is really cool. So that's all. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys tomorrow with another video. Take care.